Part of the monitoring and evaluation is to have a look at the legacy. And the legacy goes around two areas. The legacy is about the process. What have we learned about the process of running these kind of complex projects? Because there's a lot of complexity in it. And secondly, what new insights, what new knowledge, what new tools, what new directions, what else has come out of the project that is going to benefit Eyre Peninsula, etc., and the individuals on it. What we like to ask when the people who are running the project, when they come together and they hear from each other and they take stock, we like them to be able to self-assess how do they think the project's going over time. Basically, there was a pretty good level of confidence right from the start about the project. Just towards the end, there was just that little questioning, well, you know, what did we actually, where did we really get to in this project?
The project management was done especially well through COVID as well. We thought it was managed extremely well with challenging times, and the internal communications were excellent.
It's resourced for us to be able to come together, and that's really critical in making it work and making it a comfortable environment.
How important it is to have the capacity building within the consultants and agronomists in the room, because their reach is far wider than this room. So each consultant or agronomist is probably touching, 30 of their clients, who's then talking to their neighbours.
The monthly Zoom meetings, the research meetings, that kept everyone on track. It worked really well, and helped keep things focused.
With the interviews, we're able to go to a lot broader group of people and ask them those kind of questions. From your perspective, how much progress was made over the life of the project towards its overall aim? And here we've got a really, nice firm 7 out of 10. We interviewed 35 of people here across what we call a farmer, site host, project support, rig member, project team. The researchers perhaps were a little bit harder on themselves, or, we didn't quite have these kind of, maybe these breakthroughs that we were hoping. But when you have a look at the project team, who were really at the nub of it, there was a lot of confidence that, look, we've made pretty good progress. They rated it around 8.3.
This project is a fantastic project to build the resilience, to understand soil water, to measure things well so we know what's happening there, and to start thinking about how do we bring in what we do know about the coming season, and how do we bring that into decision making, and doing that by imagining multiple futures rather than just locking on one future.
Research was highly adaptable because it was through those grower groups and actual extending that information that then cycled back through as to changing what they were going to look at.
Just that innovation tour, I don't think everyone was involved with it, but
No.
That was, I was only involved with it for half an hour when they came to Gus's, but there's some pretty good minds in that group, and just a few little things that I picked up from a couple of them was super handy.
The major impacts of this project and value of the process was this integration and discussion. There was a pretty good sense of feeling that there was good integration happening.
The networking and interaction between all the different groups, so between the rig and the researchers and the project leaders and growers.
Having the social events post-meeting gave you a chance to interact with other people that you may not necessarily, or you might see them on a Zoom meeting, but not necessarily get to spend time one-on-one talking about other issues.
The farms and their locations were probably chosen pretty carefully, and I think that helped cover the whole of EP quite extensively, which brought in, I've got a way better understanding of people's farming in different environments on the Eyre Peninsula.
Those focus farms, I suspect that most growers on the entire Eyre Peninsula could look and go, okay, that's only 50 k's down the road, and it's very similar to environment to where I farm in. And so we've got some excellent case studies from pretty well covering all soil types and all rainfall environments and production systems on EP.
Those farmers were very generous with their information.
The key in here has been the in relation to improved understanding of plant soil reserves, rather than having a magic toolbox that, that's this, therefore this. And it's been in that improved understanding through the discussion, I guess, that's been talked about, that sort of was reflected, I think, in the way people responded to this.
Sustained thinking in the same area, because everyone has a bit of ownership in it. It's not just randoms turning up at a seminar, but it's the same group of people thinking about it sustainedly.
Having the discussion groups alongside those focus paddocks worked really well. They were invaluable for discussion and gaining direction on what the farmers wanted to see.
When we've actually had these discussions on farm, like a comment we made was last year we had these high-end prices and good water, and there was probably a lot of really good decisions made, and a lot of it would have been on some of the sharing of knowledge and understanding as a result of this project.
Through those trial sites and the selections that we felt that we engaged or unengaged within the farming communities.
The journey around seasonal forecasts is really interesting. It was about their understanding of the implication of climate risks and seasonal forecasts. And again, you know, that was pretty solid.
Having sound data, like so stuff being generated from the field, and then like the CSIRO people analysing it rigorously, and then being able to feed that back to stuff they could share with farmers.
Effectiveness of the rig. There's confidence that if people who are actually using this kind of information are involved, the outcome and the outputs will be better. So that's basically the thing, and the term is called co-design. Co-design simply means that you're really getting the people in the room to look at the nuts and bolts of what needs to happen in what way, guide and give feedback, and help with the adaptive management when things aren't working all that well.
In this situation, everyone got to have a say. The farmers got to have a say, the consultants and agronomists got to have a say, and the researchers got to have a say. So everyone had input into what the final outcome on the project was.
Because we've been doing this for 3 years together, and there's already that personal relationships that have been built up prior to this project, we've all felt really valued in actually sticking your hand up and saying something, and also saying, oh, I don't agree with that. You know, from my experience, there really has been just a free flow of ideas.
What was reported, what was either in writing or through interviews, about what people thought the project, you know, what gain was there. Better understanding of and use of soil moisture probes, including the limitations. Understanding of the limitations and capabilities of available technologies used for soil water. Improved soil management by enabling more informed conversations and decision making. And it was interesting with the discussion earlier, you know, people talked about the value too of not just listening to researchers but also to each other. Improve understandings of the soil characteristics of Eyre Peninsula. Improve understanding of climate risk and seasonal forecast. Improve relationships between growers, consultants and researchers. And the things that sort of came out that weren't fully achieved was developing the initial view of developing the soil probe network, the full mapping of the soils, providing guides on the most effective use of probes, increasing confidence in climate and weather forecasts, the extent of raising awareness across a lot broader group didn't quite as occur in the way in which perhaps it was envisaged to start with. We've done a really good job with those in the inner circle, the people who come along to the trial sites, etc. But you know, there's still a lot more to do going beyond that. If you were thinking of planning an extension campaign based on what's come out of the project to go to a wider group who aren't more intimately involved, you know, you'd have to think, what are the key messages we're sending out? What is it that we're looking for? And in this and many other similar projects, it's not really till the end that you get to terms with what is it that we've got out of this project that could be beneficial to other growers to think about. The area of livestock maybe wasn't dealt with as much as it might have been envisaged earlier, but is something that should be flagged, particularly when you're looking at a whole farm risk management strategy going forward.
I believe we've got a greater understanding of how soil moisture is just critical for our farming systems, and it's really important that we save every drop we possibly can. And yeah, it's expanded my thinking in the way we might be able to use that moisture and how we can use inputs with that knowledge of either having the moisture or not having the moisture. So I think, it's been a really good learning process.